Hey guys, welcome back to Age of Empires 2. Yesterday I played a couple of ranked games, first ranked games I've ever played on Age of Empires 2, and we had a win and a loss. So let's give them a watch and see what happened. Okay, so I played a couple of games today. I was just trying to get the challenge that's going on at the moment, which we did. Although I did have a crash on the first game, which is weird. So, if we go for, let's start with the first ranked game I've ever played, and let's see what happened. So we're doing a 1v1 on a tiny map. I think this one ended up being a not fortress, arena, which is, so you start with walls, so it's a bit more defensive. Let's have a look. So, interesting. It's set me as red here, but I was blue when I was playing. So, as you can see, I'll zoom out a bit. You start with these walls in arena, which means you're a bit more protected early on. And so I've gone for Britons because that's what I always do. Oh, so the challenge that I was doing earlier today turns your buried bushes into these pink petal bushes things here, which I'm seeing for the first time. Looks quite interesting, but there you go. So we're starting out, like I say again, you're focusing on food mainly at the start. We're doing some, Britons get a bonus to when they're shepherds, so I think these should be classed as shepherds, even though it's a cow rather than a sheep. But yeah, so we're playing against Laura, and Laura over here in the green. What civilization is Laura? Can I see that somewhere? Persians. Okay, so it's a strong civilization. Persians. They have a lot of different options. They have some good gold units, and their unique unit, I believe, is a war elephant, which are really strong but very slow and very expensive. So it's but they have lots of other things that they can do well. Whereas we are pretty much going to be focusing on archers and. Britons can have some strong infantry as well, but yeah. So starting out here, Laura takes the score lead early on. It's interesting because I couldn't see what she was doing at this point. So sending, what we got, 3 on wood, 5 on food. Let's go back to my view over here. Okay, so I'm on 12 population, she's on 9. I do have a population lead at the start, and then there you see my score's just overtaken her. So, oh yeah, I had a bit of a fail here. I led the boar in, and then the boar went back. I must have forgotten to get all my other villagers to attack me. I had to idle all these villagers from collecting food for a while, to then reload the boar back. I should have just sent one, but hey, you know. I'm a bit of a noob at this kind of stuff. So we take the fog of water off, actually. We'll be able to see what both players are doing. So the arena map, you see we both start with these walls, and then there's this kind of really open area in the middle. And you see we're both scouting. My scout's on his way over to check out. So put fog of war back on. You can see what I see at this point. I've seen where she is, and I'm just trying to. I think I might have. Do I have on auto scout at the moment? I think I might have on auto scout at the moment. Either that or I might have. Yeah, I think it is auto scout. But yeah, so. I'm thinking, I'm in serious panic mode. I'm probably glancing at the score every now and again, but generally I'm thinking oh my god, I'm playing the first ever ranked match that I've played. This is going to go terribly, kind of a thing. And you see me getting housed there, so I need to build a house, and we've got sent some villager that was lumberjack to build a house. So when you get to your population cap, obviously you can't build any more units, so there's a delay in getting more villagers out, which means your economy is delayed. And then because I'm focused on being housed, then I've forgotten about these villagers, but I'm going to send them straight to the berries over here. I've got this villager who just seems to be not doing anything. I wonder how long it takes me to notice that. There we go. And there's Laura's scout there. So she's seen our base. Let's switch over to her view and see what she can see there. So she's scouted her own base quite well. She's got some very safe gold back there, which is good. I don't think I knew about them this whole game. And yeah, so it's quite a chilled start in arena. Like I say, you've both got the walls, so you're relatively safe from like an early rush from the opponent. You see I might have built one militia just in case. And we should be clicking up to the feudal age at some point soon. We see we're getting close to 500 food, and we've got to 500, and yeah, we've clicked up there. So, well, at least I think so, because that food went. Yeah, you see we're advancing. Oh no, we're not. Oh yeah, we're creating one more villager. We're going to get to 21 villagers, and then we're going to go up. I think 19 or 20 is more normal, and you see me here. I'm going to send a few villagers out to gold, but out here I want to try and save all my golds for so we've got the 4 tile there, the main one there, which is how many? 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 tile gold there. We've got stone back here, and my other gold's there outside the walls. So I'm thinking if I send some villagers forward, I've got the score lead here, so I might have been thinking there's I don't seem to be seeing any military coming forward, so that seems to be a safe bet. Looking at what's going on here, I think it was got quite a lot on wood at this stage, but then again, what are we doing? Yeah, we've got a similar amount. And again, building houses to increase the population limit, and we're sending any military that we produce to defend these miners over here. It's quite risky, because if she was to notice this and send some military forward, I might be a little bit stuffed and lose some villagers, lose some economy, and then from there things might start to go a little bit pear-shaped. So I'm going to send these, let's go back to my view. I'm going to send these militia forward bit by bit, because I wanted to try and scout, see what's going on in her base.
Ready.
Okay, so she just advanced to the feudal age there. Now in feudal age you can obviously build some more structures. You see me switching over to farming now. The berries running out. So I think at some point soon I'm going to, after I've scouted here with the militia, I'm probably going to, I think I send villager forward to build a tower. Ideally you want a tower where they've got resources, so like near the gold or near the stone. If you can see that in their base, that would be ideal scenario, because then you'd deny them that resource and they'd have to move the villagers somewhere else. So I'm going to scout here. So I'm looking for any vulnerable resources that are in the edges of her base there. So now we've pretty much got this middle area scouted out. So we can see all the resources. There's not many in a 2v2 arena in the middle, but it's enough to, if you get the resources in the middle, then you're going to be having a good time. I mean, I think we got quite lucky in the resources here, because there's this golden stone that's quite near to us, and then this other gold here that's near, but then again, there were those 2 golds at the back of her base there. So let's have a look. She's got the 4 tile there, main gold there, and there's these 2 golds here. So we got the main one, a smaller one, and yeah, so I think she got the safer gold, like an extra gold safe, but we did get the 2, like the gold in the middle closer to us. Okay, so we dealt with her scout there. I think we got lucky. The scout was just coming out there as I was scouting with the militia. And I can't see really any vulnerable resources at this point. So I think I just YOLO it and send a village. So we're going to build an archery range forward and a stable forward. So like I say, with Britons we're going to be concentrating on archers. So that's going to be the main thing that we're going to try and pressure with. And then I'm thinking later on add some knights to do some, because you can't just have archers or just have infantry or just you need at least a couple of different options to do damage to the right kind of units. So we've now got a couple of options there, and I'm going to start producing some archers. And I think this villager might be, this is risky as anything, like sending a 6 HP villager forward to go build this tower. And you see building the tower there. I don't think I noticed this. Memory serves correct. Because I'm focusing on what I'm doing over here. So I think these guys all die. They're like, why hast our king forsaken us? Okay, so they get out of the range of the tower. So the tower doesn't kill them, but I think she sent some, yeah, there you go, she sent some, is it pikemen? Pikemen out to mop up the militia there. Don't know, can she see that tower at the moment? No, she can't see me building the tower. Sneaky. So tower built, that's gonna just, if anything, it's gonna be a distraction. And you see I'm starting to produce some archers here, and we just need a little bit more gold to go up to the next stage. The economy's looking okay. I've probably got too many on wood at this point, but that'll just be it. I'll be putting them on wood, yeah, straight from the town centre, so at least they're doing something, and then I'll be transferring the lumberjacks to farms. Like 15 on food, 9 on wood. It's not too bad of a balance, and 4 on gold. So that with these guys out here. So I'm sending some archers to just have a look round, just in case because I know there was the units that came to attack over here. So just in case I'm being the units, any units coming forward. I think I built another tower there. Yep. And here I just have 1 archer in that tower. And having a unit garrisoned in a tower makes them fire more arrows. Being attacked by a bear over here. But if you've researched loom from your town centre, then your villagers are going to be okay from a single wild animal. See, so she sent some pikemen here to are they militia? Spearmen and a militia to deal with the tower. If you stand right below a tower, then the tower can't fire on you. But then, as soon as I notice that we have a fair amount of archers, they'll mop that up quite quickly. And I can also range the villagers building the counter tower. And you see I'm going up to Castle Age now, which will allow me to produce some knights. So we've got a lot of villagers queued up. I like to do that when I'm approaching a new age, so that I can be focusing on doing other things while my town centre is producing villagers. And now you see me mining stone here, and that's gonna. So I'll be preparing to build a castle. That was just pure luck. My scout was on auto, and then with her units having the gate open there, the scout just ran in to attack whatever, and this allowed me to be a pest and cause distraction in her base here. You see me just going to try and pick off villagers. I think I forget about the scout for a little bit actually, and he just stays there for some bizarre reason and don't attack anything. So I'm upgrading my archers to crossbowmen, which will mean they'll do more damage, have better range, and have better armour. And at this point you can see the skull kind of start to run away. I'm trying to get the stone to build a castle. We're still quite a way off there, and I think I should be, yeah, I'm adding a second town centre down here. And we've got more run stone, and there'll be villagers coming from this town centre probably to wood, and from this town centre to gold or stone. But resource is looking okay. I could do with a few more on gold, but that'll be sorted soon. Yeah, so you see any villages I'm creating from here are going to go straight onto the gold. Any villages I'm creating from here are going to go straight onto the wood. But I do need to build more houses. Also building a monastery over here. Try and sweep up some of the relics that are on the map. Bit more gold income for us. I'm not sure if we get that far, but and then at some point soon from the stable I'll start building, start producing some knights. I think I'm doing that at the moment. Yeah, a couple of knights there. Oh, I missed it. The scout that was here, I set like a loop around these houses and the gold when she was chasing me with her other scout, just to kind of again cause a distraction. It was pretty funny. So okay, let's try to build another tower there. We've got this crossbowman on kind of an automatic patrol. See the difference between a crossbowman and an archer. We've got the knights there as well. So there, and start prepping a siege workshop. So then I'll just at that point I was probably thinking, okay, knock a couple of rams out, and then we can start going through there. So she's responding by building a castle here, which is probably a good shout. So it's probably war off. You can see her base as well. One town centre. And yet, but that's probably a good bet. If that castle goes up, then it'll be hard for me to push this area until Imperial Age. And I'm building a castle here, so if I tech to longbowmen, then I get more range, and I can basically ignore the walls for a little bit and maybe attack everything for this kind of radius. So I'm trying to slow this castle down. I think they're attacking the castle at the moment, but what I really should be doing is try to attack the villagers that are building the castle. So that gate opening was probably the worst thing that could have happened. We've got a down castle here, and then she calls the GG. So at that point, I think judging by the score, and it was basically these guys getting in through the gate, which I think made her think, right, that's it. Okay, I can't see a way to win from here. Let's have a look at her resources actually. So she had a fair amount of food, wood, gold, and stone. She could have been going up to Imperial at some point soon, although if she did do that, it would be tricky. No, thing is, when if you're in a fight and you click up to the next stage, you can. It's a lot of resources, so you can end up not being able to produce units, and then struggling from there. And then if you lose the fight, going up to the next stage doesn't really. It could be the end of the game anyway. So she was making some archers. She didn't really have any other army, I don't think, at this point, because I think with just the extra upgrades and stuff and the better unit, we were always going to win from that point, I think. Yeah, so the castle at 82%. If that would have gone up, this could have been a much longer game. I think from this point there, if I was going to looking at, just go back to my screen there, I was also not far away from resources from Imperial Age, but with having some army out already, I would have clicked up straight away, and then it would have been a few trebuchets from this castle. We would have been able to take that castle down pretty quickly, and then that would have been game over there as well. So it's difficult to see what she would have done at that point. Maybe some skirmishes to deal with the crossbowmen, and she'd need pikes as well for the knights. She was producing pikes earlier, but yeah. So first ever ranked game, and it was a win. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, but I think what it must do is obviously pair you with a similar experience. So this could have been her first game as well, and yeah. But I didn't. There's like in the there's a ranking system, and I think when you win, you're supposed to get XP or like, you know, something like that, and when you lose XP. I don't think I gained any XP from this match. It said +0, so whatever, don't know. I don't really know how that works, but let's go into the second game. Okay, oh, in fact, actually, let's just check out stats. So not really a lot happened there. Largest army for me was 13, and for her was 7. I got quite a lot more food and wood. She pipped me on stone, and a little bit more gold. Not much difference there. The advance times, what, a minute earlier to feudal, and a minute earlier to castle. Not really much difference there either. I did have a lot more of the map explored and quite a bit more research. Maybe that's what swung it in the fight. And I did have, yeah, an extra 10 villages is quite a difference. But still, there's not that much difference there. It's not like I mean, I was playing okay, and she was playing okay, but it was just there was enough of a difference for it to swing my way that time. Okay, so let's go back to replay. So, I win the first game, and then we go right. Okay, let's go straight into the second game. So this guy, or girl, I don't know, Desicon, or Decycon, I don't know. Let's see what happens in this one. So they're playing as the Teutons, and again I'm sticking as Britons. I was thinking about changing to Franks and just going all in knights, but this is a bit more of a bit more happens in this one. I think my play is a lot more sloppy in this one, and also yeah, well, we'll see. So again, we're starting out focusing on, and in fact I just want to see the other opposition start here. So go straight to building a house on the berries. That's interesting. So building 2 houses at the start. That's quite standard online practice. I just built the one. Whoever this is knows what they're doing. They're scouting with one of the sheep, and with their scout. And let's bring the score up. Already you can see this player's beat me in the score quite considerably for how early in the game it is. Seven villages, both at 7 villages. You can see that down here. I struggle to see it. Oh, 6 villages and a scout, should I say. I should be looking at this more, but it was faster to click the production of the villages. You saw his villager. Oh no, interesting. Does that go? Did that change there? Was that me? Anyway, yeah. So, like I say early on, it's all about scouting, getting your economy started. I was playing a bit more sloppy in this one, or at least I wasn't making great decisions. So the idea behind the placement of the houses here, I think this is going to form part of a wall, and he's going to wall himself in with buildings, which is a really good strategy because it's just really efficient, because the buildings that you need end up also being part of your defence. He has run out of food there though, so he's having to send a lot to wood while he's waiting for the sheep to come in. Where are his bars? I'm sending a villager out for a bar now. Let's go back over to mine and see what's happening. So I've already, yeah, we're both taking the first bar at about the same time. See, I think one thing that was annoying me was my gold all over here, quite far out. So ideally I want to be walling here, but then access to gold is a problem. I do have this gold here, so if I was to wall there, and then kind of use that gold as a wall and come down here, then that's one option. But it's just it is a little bit of an awkward map to start on. But then again, this is quite an awkward one as well. Look, here's gold over here. Does have this one relatively close, but still, if you want to wall this effectively, let's just take the fog of war off. Yeah, his is very difficult to wall as well. Now these hills could be quite important. Like if it gets to kind of late game, a castle on this hill will be very good. You see, he's taking the second bar there. You see his walls starting to form there, and he's now sending villagers on berries. Okay, so already is a good 170, 180 points in front. We're still both on 14 villages. I think he's just used his villages more efficiently, and has been getting more, gathering more resources. Okay, so I should be about to click up to feudal anytime soon. I think, unless I've just queued up a load. Yeah, I think I've just queued up a load more villages, maybe? Oh yeah, we're going up to feudal after a couple more villages. Got a lot of idols here for now, for some reason. We just run out of food, and doesn't have the wood economy to build enough farms. But he could just send them to berries, or he could send them to wood, or he could split them. Or I was waiting for the sheep. Okay, and garrison in. Interesting. Oh, and then to send them to wood. Okay. So neither of us playing perfect. And you see I start to wall here. I'm thinking, right, looking at his score, I need some protection. Just built barracks there, and you see me make I'm thinking about this because I'm thinking, well, I need to wall, but I don't want to wall myself off from the gold. So I end up leaving a gap here so I can send some villagers out to mine the gold. But this becomes a problem later. And even so, I didn't realise at the time that there is actually a gap there between those two trees. So as much as this walling's pretty good for just to give me a bit of a heads up when he comes to attack. Also, it means nothing if there's a gap here that he can just if his units are here and he clicks inside my base. If there is a hole, they will find it. Okay, see, I've taken a score lead here, and I think that's just because I went up to feudal quicker. I think when he gets to feudal age, he'll probably overtake us there. So let's have a look. No, maybe not. So I'm holding the score lead at this point. So he had a stronger start, like at the very start. I seem to have a stronger kind of stronger arriving at feudal kind of time. And then let's start making farms. I think I'll be doing the same shortly. I'm just trying to make sure I get the first upgrade from the mill in feudal age before making farms, because then your farmers have produce more food. So he's building barracks and stables. So stables, I imagine. Yeah, I do remember him sending some scouts over. And let's see what his scouting looks like at the moment. So he's really good scouting here. You see, he's just going out in like concentric circles, so he can see pretty much everything that he needs to see at all times. Fantastic scouting there from him. Mine's a bit more erratic because I think I was using auto scout for a bit, so I can see me, and then I think the auto scout did all this side of the map, and then he's coming back. It's better than no scouting at all, but his is a lot more his scouting is a lot more useful than mine. This is not good. These guys just stood here leaving the gate open. I don't really know what units to make at this point either, because I haven't seen his composition yet. I think he'll start producing some scouts fairly soon. I think this militia was chasing, his scout got through there, and so this militia was just chasing that scout. He's now just stood up there at the back of the base. Okay, we're housed again, got to the maximum population, so I'm panicking and sending out that guy to build a couple of houses. Sent some folks to stone. And I do have a high score at the moment, but I'm liking the way his base is laid out more than mine. It's a lot simpler, but it is quite open, and he hasn't walled up either. But it's yeah, it's just mine looks a little bit messy compared, and his farming eco is a lot better than mine at the moment. I think you'll start to see me make a lot more farms shortly. I'm trying to send some lumberjacks over to this side as well, so that we don't cut through here. Not realising that I actually need to wall there as well. Okay, so you see he's made a bunch of scouts now though, and this is going to cause us some trouble, I think. So I think this is on Arabia, which is a map that is quite standard for like 1v1s. Probably one of the favourites for the pro. So he's gonna come down with this bunch of scouts now, and I'm gonna go, oh holy hell. I do have some pikemen though, ready for some scouts, but with that number of scouts versus that number of pikemen, I do take out 3 of them, but then I've got nothing to defend, and I'm trying to panic build a house here, and then I build it in the wrong place, but luckily the units block the scouts, so I'm able to then build a house behind, I think. So then he retreats, and now I imagine he's still producing back at home. And you see we've got another scout there. So just, he's probably looking for another way in there. He makes shot work of those militia. He's probably going to run around here and see that we've fully walled. So now Panic made a bunch of spearmen. At least I'm making the right unit to counter the scouts. That's a good play, just leave him in the corner of the map so I forget about him. And I started making a lot of archers as well. At this point I think I was overestimating how much military he had. So if I would have just gone straight up there, then I might have been able to control this game, but we'll see how it pans out. So I start. So I get my spearmen here, who hopefully clean up these scouts. Oh no, the scouts he notices and then goes right. No, that's too many spearmen for my liking. For 3 scouts, let's ride over here, back to the base, regroup with the other scouts that we've got. There's my scout here who's still just on auto scout, I think. So he's just gone up to Castle Age, and we actually do have the resources to go up to Castle at this point. I don't think I do for a little bit. Okay, so start attacking a few villages, but then back off when we get close to the town centre. We should kill these scouts reasonably quickly, although he does have a damage bonus being in Castle Age. Whoop. And they're auto-attacking now, so I have to be careful not to get too close to the town centre, because as you can see, these guys go down really quick to ranged attacks. So I'm building up more forces down here, I think. Got some more spearmen and some more archers. I think it was just houses there. I think I had to build a couple of houses, because it feels like we should have produced more military than that. Oh, there they are. So we brought a bunch of archers forward. Plan is to try and pick off as much of his economy as we can. So now we're on our way up to Castle Age. We're in a reasonable position here. We've got a fair amount of army in his base. Gradually picking off villagers and whatever army is producing. From here, if I would have played my cards right, I think I think I'm focusing too much on this attack, where I should have gone in, done a bit of damage, pulled them back out, focused on building up a bit more army, reinforced those guys, maybe gone into something like a melee unit that can do a bit more damage to, so like some, we're in Castle Age now, some knights would be good. Because although we've got reasonable numbers here, they're all quite weak units, and as you can see, they're getting taken out by the town centre. So where's his stable? Okay, he's got a stable there, and he's got more. So he's done the right thing. He's building more offensive buildings and being able to he's countering my archers with skirmishers. This guy knows what he's doing. Oh, this girl knows what she's doing. One or the other. And this is a bad move here. I didn't realise that this was walled, and so I get this army trapped, and they're pretty much dead at this point. So I need to be coming back and building up more forces. Ideally, researching. You see, I'm getting some archer upgrades here. I should be going to crossbowmen as well. I don't know if that happens soon. And building another town centre over here. I think this army's almost gone. Okay, so you can see kind of how deceptive the score is. Because although we've done okay pressuring and killing some of the economy, his military numbers are better than mine, and his, I don't know, even though we've killed off quite a lot of his economy, ours isn't so hot at the moment. Oh, we've got 15 on food, 13 on wood, 5 on gold, 8 on stone, and he's got 6 on wood, 20 on food. Well, they're about even, to be fair. Well, in fact, I've got quite a few more villages than he has at this point, probably due to that raid. But now I've got literally no military, just these 3 crossbowmen who are countered by these guys, so I have to be careful. But he's playing a lot wiser than I was. Just go in, pick off a little bit, and then move out, and then go back in. So I can be learning from this kind of play. So I've got all these villages I don't quite know what to do with at the moment, because they're rangeable from these skirmishes. So do I end up sending them all to gold? I think so. I'm not realising I've chopped through here, meaning there's a big gap. But this placement of this town centre was probably one of the best things that I did, seeing as how that's where he wanted to come in, and now it's a defensive point for me. But he has control at this point. I can't see what's going on up here. I don't know what he's creating. And he's got a lot more offensive buildings. He's got his couple of archery ranges there. He's got 3 stables, and he's producing knights. And this is with him already having superior numbers to me. I'm also producing knights, but only out of 1 stable. So 1 versus 3 stables. It's not looking good. So we're building a castle here. Is he? I don't think he's built a castle. Yeah, I think at this point I'm thinking, right, I'm not going to give up, because I think more so than anything else, it's frustrating when you're playing someone and they give up really easily. You've worked hard to kind of build up your forces to whatever level, and then the other person just resigns. I think as long as you've got some resources and some economy left, there's always an argument to press on. So he sees the hole here, and that's a surprise to me. I've been focusing on other things, and yeah. So this is bad news. He's got armor here that can take out villages quite quickly. So I send in some knights to try and clean that up. But unbeknownst to me, he's got more than enough to match that over here. So he's bringing his army back to so that his knights can face mine. And as soon as those guys meet the rest of his army, that's the end of the end of my knights. So you see there, he cleans up my knights, and pretty much still has that full army from before. Maybe less skirmishes than he did have, but still. And so over here, I ain't even plugged this gap in the wall. Still focusing on trying to make some units. We've got some longbowmen there, making our own skirmishes here, but they're only regular, they're not elite like his. Now I plug the gap. And luckily for me, he hasn't noticed this gap down here yet. But I think he's about to. So the house comes down, and he's able to come in the base again. I should be making pikes here to counter the knights. Again, the town centre saves me there. And he starts looking to just where can I do some damage. Interesting choice. I don't know if I think maybe attacking the villagers here would probably be his best bet, which he's just about to do, I think. There we go. So now we look at villager numbers. He's at 68 now to my 43. It's really difficult in this game if you're in a fight or if you're focused on your military to make sure that you keep your economy going, because as soon as your economy stops, you've kind of had it. Multitasking, I think they call it, and it just depends on your state of mind while you're playing. Some of the pros that you see playing, they can be expanding their economy, controlling multiple armies at once, and then microing individual units within those armies to avoid certain attacks and things. It's insane. If you've never seen a pro Age of Empires game, I seriously recommend it. Anything well, the Viper's the #1 player in the world. If you want to see someone with mad skills, watch the Viper play somebody. It's insane. So I still haven't ungarrisoned my villagers to go back to work here. I think at this point I know that it's game over, but I'm just going to try and stay alive for a little bit longer. So he's already going up to Imperial Age, and he's walling the outside of his base here. Really well played. He's done. He's made the right kind of units when he has to, and I keep saying he. They've made the right kind of units when they have to, and they've made the right decisions. See. There's bits of army all over the place, just so he's got vision and he can see what's happening. Again with the he, just so they've got vision and they can see what's happening. And you can see I get single-minded about things. I go, right, okay, I need to do this now, and then forget about everything else. And I think it's one of those things that comes through time. So with playing a lot more, I'll be able to do more things at once. But you see, I've got idle villagers just stood about everywhere. He's just gone up to the Imperial Age. They've just gone up to the Imperial Age. So it's a bad habit. I mean, with the previous previous match, it was easy because you could tell from the name, male or female. But this match, I mean, you can't really tell. I would kind of think that it would be a guy that would make a name like that, unless I'm being incredibly short-sighted here, and that is a gendered name from a different country. But hey, don't really matter too much. Everyone knows who they are. Okay, we've got monks coming into play here, healing the army. That's really good. And just the numbers here far outstrip anything that I'm producing myself. First cattle goes up. I'm stonewalling as well. So you see, I've got the right kind of idea. I'm just not not very efficient in the way that I do it. Got some knights out front. But not nearly enough to deal with anything that's coming my way. We've got some other army in here, which I don't know why I've kept it all so far back. What would be a good idea right now, I think, or maybe a little bit earlier, would to castle this hill. That'd take the focus away from my base, or even castle over here. But I think castling this hill here is the better play. Don't have to be right on the edge looking over his base, but ideally I would say somewhere quite central like here. Then he has to focus on. Then they have to focus on bringing that castle down, and I can be building up my forces in the meantime while that's happening, rather than what's about to happen, which is they send all their army composition forward. I go, whoa, that's too much to deal with. You see more than 2,000 behind here, so I definitely know it's game over at this point. It's just a matter of time. I don't remember this. I was going to say, wouldn't it be hilarious if that monk was just far enough out of range so that the knights didn't automatically notice and take him out. Okay, so that's killing that monk sparks this. So they've got Cavalier mixed in with a few scouts there, which is the upgraded version of the unit I'm using, and I would imagine, yeah, with plenty of upgrades as well. So my knights here don't stand a chance. You'll see them go down very quickly. Majestic. So longbowmen aren't really going to do much to Cavalier, especially in these kind of small numbers. Monk with relic. So he starts building it. So they start building a castle over here, and I send villagers and longbowmen to attack the castle, and that's when full force of their army comes over here. Castle's about to go up, and GG, I call it. So I didn't give up straight away. I think I might have just glanced at the score and gone, okay, yeah. Saw all this army coming towards me and gone, right, yeah, that's it. That's the end of. But yeah, very well played to Desicom. Maybe they're not maybe not the most efficient farming economy, but still. Base was very well constructed, very well thought out and laid out. The tactics were good. Maybe I think his or her early game was probably the weakest part, but their late game was very, very strong. Whereas I was middling kind of most of the way through, and after that first kind of big attack, after my attack in their base went wrong, I think I just lost the plot a little bit and didn't really my focus was all over the place. I wasn't really doing what I should have been doing from that point on. but it's all a learning process, and it's fun while you're playing. I'm liking the ranked because we were able to do 1v1s, so there'll probably be quite a few more of these as and when I get time to play them. So yeah, thanks for. In fact, before we get ahead of ourselves here, let's have a look at the stats. So, you see, I'm getting outdone on pretty much everything here. Although society was exactly the same. That's interesting. We'll have to check that out. So military, largest army. Theirs was by far and away larger with extra 37 units. Kill death ratio was much better. 78 killed and 35 lost to my 35 lost and 79. 35 killed and 79 lost. Only a couple of buildings, well, 3 buildings lost in the entire game for both of us. Economy wise, just look at that. It tells you everything you need to know. Look, the amount of food collected there, almost double what mine was. The wood collected was more. I did get more stone, but you got a fair. They got a fair chunk more gold as well. Now technology, I got to feudal faster, but didn't even get to imperial. So there was a whole 5, 6, 7, 8. I was a whole 8 minutes behind on the imperial, and I hadn't even clicked up at that point either. I did have more of the map explored. Interestingly, that's probably auto scouts work. And research, I was far behind as well. So society was exactly the same, which is interesting. I wonder why, because apart from the total castles, they've won in every other aspect. So why is society 130 for birth? That's interesting. That's weird. Anyway, and looking at the timeline there, you see, this I think was my first attack. And I did have more numbers for more military numbers for quite a bit of the time. Maybe just on that peak there, and then that peak there. But yeah, I was outplayed in almost every aspect there. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. Hope you had fun watching my first ever foray into ranked Age of Empires 2. And I'll catch you in the next step. Thanks for joining us. Bye.